Well, I just want to compliment Utah State. That's a fantastic football team, really well coached, and they have really hard-nosed, tough players. And we knew this was going to be a battle coming in here because of the style that they play with, and they're an excellent football team. And again, a really well-coached football team. For us, that game couldn't have ended any better. I mean, that was just poetic that Larry Rose would score that last touchdown, because he's meant so much to this football program. He was one of the first young men that we recruited to come, and we sold him on a vision when we didn't have anything. It was just a vision that you were going to be part of a class that's going to change the culture of a place. And he and his family bought in, and I remember sitting in their living room talking to him about that in that little one-horse town that has a McDonald's is the best restaurant. And he's meant so much to our football program. So to see him score that touchdown, that made my night. And couldn't be more proud of him and our players and where they've come from and where they are now. So I'll leave it up to you for questions.
Can you talk about that fourth down and the sixth play in that late drive, just how important that was in the catch that he made? Keep the drive alive.
Yeah, I thought there was actually a couple of catches that guys made at crucial times there, but that one was huge. And, we've talked to our guys about all the time is great players make plays at crucial times. And we struggled offensively most of the night. A lot of that credit goes to Utah State. They had a great plan and really good players. But I think that's the mark of a championship football team when you can make those plays. And like I said, we had a couple of guys that made some big ones.
Coach, how much was it? Did you have to be conservative a little bit because you didn't have any field position until you were finally able to put together a drive there at the end?
Yeah, Jason, they have tremendous kickers, and the punter was fantastic for them. He kept us pinned back all night, and it was really hard to get things done when you're back on your own 10. So, yeah, the whole third quarter, it seemed like we were back in our own end of the field. And, we were struggling throwing the ball. We dropped a lot of balls tonight. Tyler wasn't seeing the field like he normally does, and so it put a lot more pressure on Larry and our offensive line to run the ball effectively, which that was our saving grace. We were able to run the ball probably better tonight than we have in most games, and that's a big reason why we were able to pull that out.
What was your approach on your last possession there? Were you just willing to get in field goal range?
Yeah, in the overtime, yes, we definitely, we feel really good about Dylan as a kicker, and we knew he could handle that. So you just don't want any negative yardage plays in that situation. So we were going to run the ball the first couple, and then if we weren't where we needed to be, we'd throw it on third down, see if we could get him in a little bit better position. And then, obviously Larry made a huge play for us.
Tyler seemed to get a first down, so if you could talk about your defense helping them on third down tonight, too.
Yeah, I mean, our defense, that's the best game we've played defensively all season, especially when you consider the talent that we were playing against. We've had some games defensively where we've played teams that were marginal on offense, and we've played really well, but that's an elite offensive football team that we played tonight. And the plan that Coach Spaziani and our defensive coaches put together to handle their tempo and all those things was remarkable. And I can't say enough about our players. Really, it was a great team win, but our players on defense, I mean, they just played their hearts out, and it's one of the best defensive efforts I've ever been around.
A really good kicker. I mean, he missed. I don't think he probably thought that he missed 4, but he could talk about that. What were you thinking when he missed that one in overtime?
Yeah, I mean, he is automatic from just about anywhere, and unfortunately for them, he had an off night, which. You better mark that down because it won't happen much with him. He's an NFL kicker, and we were lucky and we just dodged some bullets there.
Larry, a game-winning touchdown in overtime in a bowl game, that's got to be a moment you dreamed of as a kid. I see you holding back the smile. What's that like for you?
It feels good. It feels great. I wouldn't want to go out any other way, And my mindset going into that last drive was I fumbled right before half, and that's in my opinion that's what made it 20-20 because it should have been 20-17. And I said, I told him, I'm gonna make it up to you. Well, the game ended. I hadn't made it up, so I was like, oh man, there's a lot of pressure on me. But I was like, I told him I got him, and I like to be a man of my word. So Coach dialed it up, and I just ran it.
Larry, how would you describe the scene after you scored?
It was crazy. I didn't think it could get any better than the win against South Alabama as far as the fans and stuff, but they proved me wrong.
Coach, what does it do for the program in the city, you think?
Well, I think when you look at the South Alabama game and tonight, the city of Las Cruces and the Aggie Nation is on board. I mean, our former players and people came from everywhere to support us. And that crowd out there tonight was just remarkable. And for those people to show up and they were the big emotional bond that helped us win that football game tonight. So I think this creates a great window of opportunity for New Mexico State University. We've got a tremendous athletic department. Our basketball team has tradition, has a lot of success, men's and women's, baseball. Now we've got football. There's an opportunity here for us to really make athletics the front porch of the university and I think attract a lot of students. I'd like to see our enrollment skyrocket from this and the publicity of this. We got a great academic institution, a great school, a great town to come and be a part of, and we want to be a part of promoting that. And I think that's the opportunity that's here for us. And football-wise, this just can't be the end of the story. This has got to be the beginning of the story. And for that to happen, we've got to have everybody get on board. Our stadium's got to be full every Saturday, which I think it will from now. I really believe people are on board, and we need the support from within that championship football programs get, and we're hopeful that that's going to happen. And, we've got the best athletic director in college football, in Mario Mocha, and he's had my back through this whole deal, and he and I have been a great team, along with Braun Cartwright and the other people at New Mexico State, and it doesn't happen without all those people.
Coach, talk about moving forward with this program. How special is it that this senior class, guys like Larry, guys like Tyler, Dalton, guys like that, kind of leave their mark on this program the way they did?
Yeah, I mean, they were the first class we recruited when we got here, and so they've been a really special group to me personally. And some of them left and transferred and didn't stay. But these guys that stayed, we always told them, you guys would be champions, and they are. They're bowl champions, and they have changed the culture of a whole city, university, state. I mean, they will always be remembered, and I will always remember them because they believed when we didn't have anything to believe in. They believed on credit, and I really haven't had to coach this team this year, to be honest with you. Larry and Dalton, those guys you mentioned, those seniors class, they've really coached this team. All I've done is get them on the bus, but these guys have done the coaching, and it's just been a great group to work with. This has been the best group of players I've had as a team, I think, in 30-something years of coaching. They just have a burning desire to win.
Larry, same thing. What does it mean to be this senior class that kind of, hopefully starts a tradition here at New Mexico State, a yearly tradition, going to a bowl game and winning a bowl game?
It means a lot because when we came in, Coach had a vision, we had a vision, and we all just got on the same page and made it happen. So for it to finally come together and just be here today, it feels great. It feels great. It'll definitely be 4 years that I'll remember.
There's a lot of former players, maybe of yours and even before. What was that like being around those guys this week, and could you tell how much it would mean for them?
Yes, sir. It was good. It was good being around them because for the past 57 years we've struggled, and just because we're the ones that are in the spotlight tonight, they still had to struggle too, So it's not just everyone that's suited up; it's everyone in the past also. So it felt good to call them champions tonight too, because they started it.
Larry, when Coach Martin was sitting in your living room those 4 or 5 years ago, did you believe him right away in the vision he was pitching?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is this how you pictured it?
I didn't have a picture in my head, but I believed in everything he was saying, and
His mom believed me, and she made him believe. That's what really happened.
yeah. So, because it was honestly, it was when I first got here, Coach Martin. When he talked to me, he told me, "I'm not going to promise you anything. All I'm going to do is give you opportunity." And he gave me opportunity, and I made the most of it. And from that point on, I knew he was a man of his word. And I came in at 160. So if you'll give me an opportunity at 160 to play Division I ball, then hey, I got no other option but to believe in you. So I just believed in him, and now we're here today.
Larry, if you compare your first half stats to your second half stats, it kind of seems like maybe they figured you out a little bit at halftime. But your mom told me she leaned over the fence and she straightened you out and figured them out at the end of the game. So, what changed at the half, and then what changed that you found your stride again?
Honestly, it was just the O-line. They were on their P's and Q's tonight. They were picking up everything. Literally all I had to do was see the hole and hit it, And the second half, they did a little bit different things and threw some curveballs, but still the O-line was blocking tremendous. And for the most part, all I had to do is find the hole. It's difficult because like we said, the third quarter, we were backed up, so things are a little bit different when they can bring a little more pressure and stuff like that when you're not in the open field. But like I said, it was mainly the O-line.
Coach, it probably feels like a million years ago, but in the first quarter there were back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns. How big was it for your team to counter, what they did with the kickoff return of their own?
Yeah, that was a great answer, and they're really good in special teams, and we have struggled on and off in special teams. So for us to be able to break even, in the kicking game was a big part of this tonight. The fake punt that we had, we executed well. We didn't get anything out of it, but the guys executed that well. I thought for the rest of the night, I felt like we kind of held our own.
And you guys have, Coach, you recruited Arizona really heavily in the last couple of years. What does it mean to you to win this game, to break the bull streak here in Arizona, and what do you think you can do for your recruiting in the state?
Well, yeah, obviously the exposure has helped us in recruiting all over, but Arizona has been a real key to our recruiting process. And, when we came in, we completely changed the recruiting philosophy at New Mexico State and what had been done before. We really went heavy into high school recruiting. We're going to develop players and do it the right way. And Arizona is much like Texas. The high school football, the level of ball that these guys play in is exceptional. The coaching is really exceptional. So when these guys come out of high school, a lot of them are ready to play as freshmen. Roy Lopez has played for us since he was a true freshman. Tyler obviously came in, played early as a quarterback for us, and Austin Perkins, a lot of other guys. So I think that's a testament to the quality of football there is played here high school-wise. And we're lucky that we're as close we are geographically. We can get here easily. Guys can get back and forth and get to home easily. So it's been a good fit for us, and hopefully this will help us get even more.
When you're trailing there in the fourth quarter, how much did everything that preceded that moment over these last several years, how did that help your team kind of continue to believe or to remain patient or whatever it is that they needed to do mentally to?
Yeah, that's a great question. We had a couple of games this year, Appalachian State and Arkansas State, where we had the lead in the fourth quarter and didn't win those games. And we talked a lot with our players about learning how to close games out and learning how to get into the fourth quarter or overtime like tonight, but finish it. And I think the experience of doing that this year, we did that at Georgia Southern. We did it at South Alabama. It's a process of learning how to win. And I think that those experiences have helped us, helped us tonight a lot. And there was no panic on our sideline. There was no, griping or anything like that. Guys just kept playing, and they had a good look in their eye the whole game.
Did you ever experience joy like that in any part of your career?
No, you know what? I've been very blessed in my career. I've coached some great players: Julian Edelman, Josh Cribbs, David Garrard. Have all played in the NFL and been to bowl games. And but this is the most rewarding experience that I've had in coaching because of where we came from. And I don't know if you can appreciate it until you were there when we started. We only had 61 players on scholarship, and the program had never made the APR score in the history of the school, and facilities weren't where they should be, and the talent level was, I remember my first day of spring ball as a head coach. All I wanted to do was try to get them to run on and off the field full speed. That's what it was like. It looked like it took weeks, and I remember just putting my head on my desk thinking, my God, this is going to take forever. And so it's a long way from there. And but I've had a lot of people that have helped me along the way too. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, the guy that has had the biggest impact on my coaching career is a gentleman named Steve Logan, who was the head coach at East Carolina when I coached there. And Steve's really a guy that taught me how to coach the quarterbacks and the passing offense, and I owe a lot to him, as a lot of other coaches, but him in particular. And really appreciate the help I've had there.
9-3 now. So what, as a player, what was that like before that last drive? Just how did you stay focused, or did knowing that you had to put points on the boards that would help you that last drive?
Honestly, it was just the past experience, I think, personally. Because I like going into, when we got the ball with like 5 minutes left, I think, I told everybody we've been here before, you know. And when I told them that, you know, they were like, yeah, you're right, you know. And I think just, like I said, the past experience, we've been in that position many, many times, some good, some bad, but it wasn't anything that was that caught us off guard or anything like that. We just knew what was ahead of us and knew what we had to do. And just like in overtime, you know, we knew what was ahead of us. We knew what we had to do. And I think we play our best when we know what's in front of us and know what we have to do. You know, in the game, when it was tied, we didn't really have much pressure on us. You know, we were just playing a little lackadaisical in a sense. You know, dropping a few balls here and there, but whenever our back's against the wall, like it's been these past 4 years, you know, we know how to answer, and I think that just comes from our past experience.
Larry, can you just talk a little bit about what you guys as players thought when you came out and saw that crowd, and so much of it being New Mexico State?
Oh man, it was tremendous. I walked out and I looked, and they had the whole U of A's home side field, and I was like, man, you know, this is what it's supposed to be like, and I'm sure nobody's in Las Cruces right now.
Coach, you talked about it a little bit, but in between trying to cover two teams that are both running hurry-up offense, in the third quarter, I believe Utah State had 5 drives. Their average starting position was their 42. You had 4 drives. Your average starting position was your 14. So, like, as a coach, how long was that quarter for you?
It was brutal. It really was. You know, again, but that's how good they are in the kicking game, and the field position is huge in football. And we had a hard time getting it flipped, and you know, it was difficult. It's hard to call plays when you're backed up like that, especially when, you know, on nights where Tyler's really sharp and he's seeing the whole field really well. It's not as hard. You know, he was having a little bit of a hard time tonight, which cuts your playlist down a little bit, and that made it a little bit harder.
Was it their front moving around that confused them, or their secondary?
No, they just did a great job of disguising coverage. As Jason played, they played a lot of different looks in the back end tonight, and they got good players. And you know, they were able to get pressure on him, and so he felt like he was being pressured probably more than he really was. And you know, when you start staring at the rush a little bit, it affects you. And he just had a hard time getting in a rhythm, and I probably didn't do a good enough job of getting him in some easier throws to get him in rhythm. But you know, he made plays when we had to, and that was the biggest part.
Coach, it seemed like every time they tried to get momentum, they couldn't finish. Your defense was sort of disrupting. How did you guys still keep in, and what was your mindset with the defense at that point?
Yeah, I think, you know, our defense has really been the big change in this year. You know, we went last season, we only had 12 sacks for the entire season. This year we broke a school record for sacks, 40-something. And I think we've got more athletic players, but I think that they understand Coach Spaziani and his scheme a little bit better. It's the first time they've had the same defensive coordinator for 2 years. That makes a huge difference. And they believe in him, and they believe in the defensive coaches. And, yeah, I think we just got a great heart. This whole team has a great heartbeat about them. You know, you might pick a fight with them, but I'm going to tell you what, you're going to have to fight every one of them when you do. And that's kind of how they play the game. They're all together.